Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our recently released webinar series. I'm going to get some music started, but we're going to give everybody a chance to jump in. I see people are already joining us, so we're going to give another minute or two as we're getting going. For everybody who's currently joining, welcome. Welcome to our recently released features webinar. We're giving everybody just another moment or two to hop in. Brooklyn did go ahead and share what I'm currently sharing on my screen right now. It's a new program that we have just launched with Curate called our bonus program, I guess. I don't really know what it's called. I guess specifically Brooklyn might know better, but it's our bonus program. So if you want to go ahead and check it out while people are just joining, we'll talk about it just a little bit more towards the end. But basically, it's a way that you can give us good feedback. We always appreciate feedback. You can give us that feedback and you get rewarded for that. So if you want to check that out while we're giving everybody else just a minute to jump in before we get started. All right. We will go ahead and get going. Um, Brooklyn let me know that I wasn't sharing my music, so I guess I was the only person jamming out to the music that I was playing. That's okay. That's okay. Just a few minutes in the beginning. Um, but welcome to our monthly webinar. It's the month of February, so Brooklyn and I both tried to dress a little Valentine's-y. We're in Valentine's week this week. So I know some of you are probably crazy in preparations. Some of you, it's your downtime actually. You don't actually do anything for Valentine's Day. But regardless, we're so excited that you were able to join us today and take a look at some new features that we have in the system that have been released over the past month. And we have an extra special thing to demonstrate today. Brooklyn is actually going to demonstrate it at the end. It's going to be a new functionality that's going to be released in the coming weeks or month or something like that. But we're going to go ahead and give you a back of house view of this item, like a sneak peek of this new functionality that's going to be in the system, all of the new cool features that we currently have connected to that, just so that you can kind of be aware of what's upcoming and just check it out. It's an exciting new thing. So, as Brooklyn did already send out, here's our new bonus program that we have just launched. It is not a long-term program. I mean, maybe it'll turn into a long-term program, I don't know, but it's a short-term program that we're just doing. It's a new effort that we've put out in 2026. So we made a decision when last year when we were evaluating what are we going to focus on in 2026, and we decided to really focus on our getting our customers feedback. We've super like scaled up the priority of getting customer feedback, and this is one of those things about getting customer feedback. I always say that the only way that Curate is the software that it is right now is because our customers have been so good about giving us good feedback about the system, about what they want, how they think that things should look. That's the only reason why we have the software that we have today. This is just another way of scaling that up higher. We really want you to be involved. We really want to give your feedback, get your feedback um, about our system, about your experience with our system, so that we can also share that with other people as well, so that they know what they're getting into with Curate. If you want to check that out, you can click on that link in what Brooklyn has put there, and I'll show you a little bit more on the end. There's some stuff I can scroll down to, but you can just go to bonus.curate.co to go ahead and check that out if you want to go ahead and get signed up. We do have a number of people that are already signed up for it already, but we'll jump into that in just a little bit. For our releases, I will actually be the one that's going to get us started today. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. Just like normal, feel free to throw any sort of questions into the Q&A or into the chat. Brooklyn and I will try to keep an eye on that while we're kind of walking through the system. Um, Today, after our call, you will get the email with the recording and the resources that we have talked about today. So like the bonus program will be linked there as well in that email. If you see a feature that you love, that you're really excited about, it really impacts you, let us know. We love sharing that with our team so that they can see exactly the features that have been the most rewarding for our customers that we have built. Okay, so I'm going to hop over to my sample Curate account. Here we are. I'm actually going to start up here in the calendar. So if I go up here into the calendar, we now have a capability, highly requested, we now have the capability where you can block off dates from your calendar. So, super common one, Valentine's Day. Nobody wants to work on Valentine's Day, okay? This year, it actually turned out that it is on a Saturday, which could coincide with some events that are happening that day. Everything is more expensive at Valentine's Day, so I've had people tell me I don't actually like to do events that day because everything is at a premium, and I have to mark up my prices so much. It makes it really tough to be profitable working events on that day. Or you just want the day off. Whatever it kind of looks like for you, you can block days off of your calendar so that you get an alert whenever you try to create an event for that day. So the way that you do it, go ahead and click on that box right there. In this case, we have what we call multiple branches. Basically, there's multiple locations associated with our account. You may just have one location on your account, but you can choose what locations are you blocking off that date for, and I'm just going to click apply. All right. You'll be able to see that it grays out right there. It's going to be grayed out so that you know it is going to be blocked out for that date. You're going to see that there. And then what that looks like whenever you try to create a new event, if I click plus new event right here, I'll just use this template. So I'm gonna put testing blocked dates, just something simple. And then if I put that date in, it's not going to give me an alert yet, but then I'm going to click create. And as soon as I click create, it is going to pop up this, give me this little pop up that says you're marked as booked out on this date. Do you want to continue? So, maybe it is worth it for you to go ahead and continue on that, whatever that date may be, but it just makes sure that you are aware that something is happening on that date. You can put a bunch of holidays on there, make sure that you're marked out for if you have principal people on your team that's going to be gone, vacation time, whatever that may be, go ahead and put that on the date. That way you're getting this alert as, hey, something else is happening on that date. Make sure that you're checking it out. So you can click continue and create that event, but it just gives you that alert for that time period. Okay. All right. Second feature that I have to look at that actually is going to take me into the workroom. I'll come back and look at it a little bit in the workroom. Is going to be down here in the templates. So if you are an admin or an owner on your account, you will be able to go over here to the templates, and it pertains to the email templates that are over here. All right. Now, for all of these items, you can see what branch, specifically if you have branches, you can choose what branches have access to those templates right here. So if I click on this inquiry follow-up right here, you can choose what branch this applies to. What does this email template apply to? You can choose that right there. Then whatever you have access to, that's what you're going to have be able to see whenever you're looking at your email templates. So I'll show you an example. This one is only for Smells Like Home catering and events. It's not for the other two branches, Bloom Co, New City Creation and Decor. It is only for Smells Like Home. So I did establish that. All right. Now, so you have the ability to set who is that applicable to. So anybody who is a part of Smells Like Home, they're going to see this as a choice in the email dropdown. Anybody who is not connected to Smells Like Home, which I'm going to take off my connection to Smells Like Home, I will not be able to see this inquiry follow up. So this is just a great way of ensuring that the right templates are being used. If you've got multiple branches on your account, it's a great way of ensuring that the right templates are being used um, on your follow up emails. Any sort of emails that you're sending out, you want to make sure that the right ones are being used on those. Okay. I will revisit that in just a minute, so you'll be able to see that actually whenever I'm sending out an email. But I'm going to pass off to Brooklyn for the next feature.
Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, let me share my screen and then we're going to cover a few updates here. Alrighty. So the first one that I'd like to cover is we're going to start in the catalog, but this also applies to your order view. But I just wanted to show it off in both places. So an update that we have made is the first one to show off is going to be an improved searching logic. And this is an improvement. It searches by showing the most relevant results first, but it still picks up other helpful matches that might be worded a little differently. It's also going to look at product descriptions or tags, but I will note the tags need to match exactly to show the results. So if you search for a specific tag, you'll need to make sure that you're typing it in exactly as it is. So the way that I want to show this off here is let me search by product here. So say we want to search for bridal. You'll see that the first few results are exactly have bridal in them. But you'll notice that we have some kind of related searches, and these are pulling. This kind of goes into my next update that I wanted to show. But you might be wondering why our bridesmaids bouquets. Yes, typically those are associated to a bridal bouquet, but the reason that it's pulling through the search is because we actually have an update here that you can now see on products and rentals, the description, again, of that product or the description of that rental on hover. So if I move my cursor over bridesmaid's bouquet, you'll see here the description actually has the word bridal in it. It says bouquets for bridesmaids, smaller versions of the bridal bouquet. So that is why that's pulling up in the search. And so you'll just notice that that's why that's coming in. And then we also have retro bridal bouquet, but that one's a little bit further down because it's not the first word. It starts with retro. So this is going to be an update to the searching logic. Again, this is here within the catalog, but also applies as you're searching within the workroom and you're wanting to build out your order. So I'll show that here in just a second. But the great thing is you can also, like I mentioned, search by tags. So we know a lot of folks like to utilize our tags on these products or rentals. And so one that we often see, and I went ahead and opened up my tags to show here in the catalog, are oftentimes for like dietary restrictions. So if we type in GF for gluten-free, you'll notice that it also is going to filter. Again, none of these product names have GF in them, but you can see this green tag over here is for gluten-free. So as we search for those gluten-free items, they'll all appear here based on having that specific tag. So just a great way to kind of stay a little bit more organized, find what you need a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And that was based off a lot of feedback that we had for folks, kind of based on trying to search. Your catalog's often very large, and when you're trying to find what you need, we want to make that as smooth as possible. So I'm going to go into an event and kind of show off how that works in the workroom as well. So let me click in. We'll go into this event here. Then I'm going to go over to my order.
We
And I'll
actually have
kind
people in chat that are pumped about this feature.
oh, good. I can't see the
Yes,
chat
it's
because I'm
such a good
sharing my
feature.
screen.
Yeah,
So
the search, yeah. Finding new things with the search and the hover. Yeah.
nice.
Hmm.
So yes, and this also again applies within the workroom. So if you're, in your workflow, you're going to import from catalog, we'll have that same similar slide out because again, this is just directly associated to your catalog, which we just were in. So you can now see the description upon hover here too. So this is great because a lot of times when you're in the workroom and you're just kind of going off of this list, maybe you have a few different items that are maybe called the same thing, but then the description is a little bit slightly different. Or you're just not quite 100% sure if that's the item that you want to actually add into your order. This will just give you more clarity. I will say that if there is no description, it will also, you can see here with the bud vase, this says no description available. So it'll also let you know if there is not a description. So maybe you want to go in and add a description if need be, but it will tell you if you don't have a description. It is just a little bit clearer on that. But it's the same flow. I know we talked about gluten-free, so if I type in the GF, it will search this way too, as you saw within the catalog. So just an improvement there. Again, with the hovering,
Good.
this applies to products and rentals. So if you have the rentals add-on, it applies to your rental items too.
So good. Such a good features. Yeah.
And then speaking of rentals, we have some rental updates. So let me click over. And then if you're wondering why these are so small, I just collapsed it earlier. So depending on how you like to work, that is something that you can kind of do. If you want a bigger space of your work area, you can collapse this navigation menu that we released a month or two ago here. And then that just gives you a little bit more space. So this is going to be part of our rentals view. Again, this is only available to folks that have rentals as an add-on to their account. But this is a great tool to separate those rentals and organize them. And so the way that this works here is that you'll see all of your different rentals that are tied to your order. You can see the quantity rented. We also have the status, which is new, which is I'm going to talk about. And then being able to kind of bulk edit those statuses and then inventory adjustments with the status. So the way that this works is that you can see I already have a few statuses on a few items, but then others I say select. So if I wanted to have a bulk action to update this status, so we have the candle holders and the coffee stand. If I want to click down here to edit, I now have the slide out here, which I can update to a particular status here. This is just to help keep things smooth, organized. You kind of have tracking from your team as they go in and update this of kind of where those items are. There's usually a different few phases of the rentals of, pulling, loading, delivering, and then of course returned, which is important. You can also put the date out and the date in. So this just helps you track, specific timelines. So maybe I know Shannon kind of called out that we don't usually do events on Valentine's Day weekend, but for a purpose of this week, let's just say that we are going to deliver them on Friday, and then we won't get them, or they're going to go out on Friday, and then we're going to pull them back in on the 15th. So they're gone the whole weekend. So I'm going to save that. And then that will update those particular items there. The other status that we want to pay attention to is the returned. So these blue candlesticks here, if I want to, I can return these items. And then what I'm going to do is once that item is returned, so let me mark this as returned. And then I'm going to save this. And then as that item is returned, you can either return all of the inventory adjustments, or if you want, you can just return a specific amount. So depending on how you're using these to select, that inventory adjustment will kind of allow you to make those on that particular item. And then let me go here. And then you can also kind of filter them at the top, which is another enhancement. So you can now filter based off of those particular items. So maybe let's see these here. You can also swap them, which I know we had mentioned maybe in a prior call, but there's just a lot of updates that we've made to the rentals to make it a lot easier. So I just wanted to touch on those bulk actions and then doing those inventory adjustments. So when you return them, if you were to make an adjustment, those are typically because something has been lost or damaged, and then you can adjust that accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's so great. Yeah.
All right, that's all I
We
got. And then I'm going to pass it back to Shannon, and then I'll show off something a little bit later.
So we did have a question in chat, so I'll share this in the proposal that I'm looking at right now. Let me share my screen again. About utilizing those dates for multi-day events. I will say I'm super excited about the bulk edit feature, how we had that, how you can edit things in bulk with the date ranges right here. That is something that has been desired for a long time. People have been wanting that functionality for a long time, and we were never able to do that in bulk in Curate Classic. So now in the updated interface, this is one of those features that now we are able to get functionality and features out due to the new technology in the updated interface, which is so exciting to kind of see those things come to pass. So we had a question about managing dates for multi-day events. So you can use that functionality to manage dates. So sometimes you do have events that are multi-day. Maybe in the system you say it is on the Saturday, but actually it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe the date technically is Saturday, but it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. For those dates, for those the dates that are on the rental items, you can manage those in bulk just to say, okay, I know the event is the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th, or whatever that may be, but I want it to be booked out from the 12th, from Thursday all the way through next Monday. So that will keep those blocked. So if you have rentals and you want to get that overbooking warning, you can keep those blocked just like that with multi-day events, and you can do it just right there in bulk in the system. So I can see that I've set those dates right there in the system, so I can keep those blocked, and they're not going to get booked for anything else. All right. All right. Hopefully that helps answer that question that we saw in chat. All right. The next one, I've got quite a few features that I'm going to walk through. The next feature, most of mine are going to be here in the portal view that I'm looking at right now. One update that we did was you now have the ability on your line items, you now have the ability to remove photos from here. So maybe you're looking in the portal and you're just checking out your line items and you realize, oh, this photo shouldn't be there, or I don't think I need to display anything for that item. So for these blue glass candlesticks, you have a delete image. Now you can do this at both the section level and at the line item level. So if I click on that X, you will have this little blue box with an undo button for that's going to persist for a few seconds, similar to whenever you're in the recipes. So again, if you're not going to have the ability to delete on the line item level or the section level, delete photos at that level, but in case something happens by accident, you will have this little blue box for a few seconds to be able to click undo and get that photo back. So just in case something happens, it just makes things a little bit more centralized. You have the ability in more places to kind of manage your line items as you're looking at those items. The other thing that we have recently released is this is a small, I say it's a small feature, but I actually talk about it quite a bit when I'm on calls with customers. But it's these tokens right here. So if you're not using personalization tokens, whew, get on the bandwagon. They really do make a difference. It reduces things that you have to like the mental strain, things you have to think about. So in this section right here, I'm going to click on this pencil icon. You have the ability to enter tokens into the event. So if anything changes about the date or the start time or the end time, if anything changes, you don't have to go dig back through the proposal and try to find all of the places you put that. This is just going to update with the most up-to-date information. So the update here is that we now have a separate start time and end time token. It used to just be one token. Now we have a separate start time and end time if you want to note those separately. Sometimes you're actually telling your team, hey, this is the time that we're starting and this is the time that we're ending. Something like that. Now you have the ability to use those personalization tokens with the event end time and the event start time right there. Just a reminder about tokens, you also have the ability to put them in the header boxes, which is really fun. You can put dates, you can put the event name, anything that you may want to autofill in those boxes. I love using tokens on my event templates. That way, that data just autofills and I don't even have to touch it. It's just going to automatically be there whenever I create a new event using my template. But a reminder that the tokens, they are always going to look like tokens when you're here in the workroom. It's going to have this look to it. But if you ever want to see what does it look like for the customer, just click on the little eyeball up here to preview it. And that's how you can see where the tokens are filled in. So that's got the event date, the start time, and the end time that I had added for this event whenever I created that event. So we now have those tokens, that token capability here in the proposal. Okay. My next one actually is going to be down here at the bottom. One update that we made since we have done this really handy navigation menu on the side. Um, uh, we've got all of these like quick actions that people really like. Like here, I can just jump over to the event prints directly for this event or download the PDF. There's like quick actions here. We got feedback about the chat bubble blocking some functionality. So we've actually integrated the chat bubble into that piece there. It looks so nice, but it is easy to miss. So just be aware it's here on that side bubble. You can go into your messages here and just use it like normal in chat. So it just makes it easier. It doesn't block anything that you may see. You also have quick access to our help articles from here. So anything that you may be looking for to try to figure out, most help articles have videos on them. They have it written, makes it really easy to search. Our help center is really good. It is a really good help center that we've got there. All right. Almost done in the workroom. The next item is just a little alert. We got some feedback on this, which so I'm trying to make it easier for you. This button is easy to click, I will say. We have this little event fee over here. This is where you can put any sort of extra fees that you may not want to be a line item, but I just want to put it down here because does need to add to the total. In this case, we have it as a calculated property that we have built in there. But this little trash button is surprisingly easy to click. So we just added an alert here just saying, confirming, do you actually want to delete the fee that belongs here? So you can say yes or no, accidentally, I didn't mean to do that. I do want to keep that event fee. So now we have a little alert to kind of protect you a little bit more if you've accidentally clicked that button. You know the pain. If you've accidentally clicked that button, you know the pain. And the last thing here in the workroom is on the order breakdown. So it's under here under the quick access. This is a place where you can kind of see profitability or just see a quick summary breakdown of the proposal. You can see that here. We have recently added the guest count right here. Now, one disclaimer on this, you do actually have to have the guest count entered, like attached to that proposal whenever you create the new event. And I'll show you where to do that. But yeah, that guest count would be right there. It will display right there if you on that order breakdown, if you have that entered there. So that's nice. That's a great way to pull that in. If you forgot to add the guest count, or maybe you didn't know, you just want to go on this event overview page, and that's where the guest count is right there. You can add that number, change that number, whatever you may need it to be. And that can be there. Okay. I see a question in chat that I will go ahead and just answer while I'm here. Is the event fee where we can give a percent discount? Yes, this is a place that you can edit if you want to just say like friends and family discount. That's exactly right. You can put that discount there. So if you instead of having it linked, which that can also be a discount as well, but you can say negative $500. You know, I want to put a discount in there for, let me, sorry, I didn't enter it manually. Um, I want to put a discount in there for that. But you can also do a percentage discount just by doing a negative percentage on your calculated property. Same thing right there. Okay. Great questions. All right. I am actually gonna hop out and I'm gonna go back over here to my events page. Um, on this events page, one update that we made, which you may not, people may not have even realized, but we do want to make it clear that this is how it functions. Whenever you do an automation, we have set it up now where your events cannot move backwards in your pipeline. So, one example that we see sometimes is that sometimes people will have an automation that whenever they send out an email, it'll mark it as proposal sent. Well, if it's already booked or even completed, you don't necessarily want it moving back to proposal sent. You want it to stay ahead of it wherever it is in that pipeline. So we have done that protection. We have put that protection on the automations where they will not move backwards in by stage, which is nice. You know, you don't want it moving back to proposal sent, or if you have some reason it would be marked as created, you can do that there. I'm going to hop over to the settings. And if I go down to my pipeline right here, this is where you can manage those stages that are in your pipeline and you can drag them. You've got this little grippy guy, you can drag them between places. That's where you can see the different stages for the order that your pipeline would go in. So that's really what we're comparing against. We don't want it to go backwards in the pipeline, it should only move forward with the automations. For the automations, if you haven't checked those out, check those out. They're so good. You know, here's the one that we have that says marked as sent. You don't want that one moving backwards if it's already marked as booked. Per project booked, remove the expiration date. There's a lot that you can kind of do here in your automations, and that's what that protection is around that we just put in place. So thank you for feedback about that. We appreciate that feedback. All right. Last ones for me. I'm going to hop over to reports. Last ones for me before Brooklyn is going to give us that sneak peek. I know she has some stuff to set up on the back end there or whatever. So, um, I'm going to hop over to reports. Small updates that we just made is now we have this list to be alphabetized. It is in alphabetical order, just makes it a little bit easier for you to kind of figure out what you're doing there, as well as in the column drop down. So if you're trying to check, um, actually, let me just generate this report for the columns. Well, no, not here. I guess it's just here in this report type or whatever. We now have this filtered to be alphabetical. Just makes it a little bit easier for us to figure that out. The last thing for me is whenever you create a custom report. So if I go over here and click create custom report over here, um, it is going to, this is going to be like a special functionality in your account, sort of kind of depending on your account that you would have. Um, Here it is going to pull from the events report. So we do have that defaulted to pull from the events report now. And so it's going to automatically go to that one. This is where you can put in certain information. So if you want to say like, um, if you want to pull, you can choose what columns that you want to add in here, but I'm trying to think of some common ones that we have. Maybe events in the past month, you know, anything that you've done in the past month, you want to pull a report for that. And maybe you pull that on the first of every month so that you can have a statement of that information. Sometimes people like to pull that for their taxes whenever they're submitting all of their taxes after the event has happened. Maybe you want to have a report for that. So like past month's taxes, something like that. You can do that here in the custom reports, but it just now it defaults to that events report there. Okay. All right. I'm going to pass back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. Yes, I want to show off a new feature that is coming soon, as Shannon mentioned at the start of the call. So this is something we're pretty excited about to have. everyone to have access to. So I'm just getting it set up on my account since it's just a bit internal at the moment. But we've made some adjustments based off of lots of feedback from users like you all that have given us, your thoughts on improvements to the order view. And the big feature request is around the drag and drop functionality. So that's something that I want to show off here and give you a look at kind of the new order view. And so let me share, and then I'll get this pulled up here. So um, I'm gonna kind of squeeze them side by side. So you'll notice over here on the left-hand side, this is what the current order view looks like. Um, today in app, this is what, when you go to your orders view and you're building out your line items and your sections, this is what it looks like here. So the new order view, let me click into an event. And again, I'm just gonna go to my order. So it's very similar, but slightly different. So I just wanted to kind of walk through kind of all the updates that have been made. So the first update that's been made is the ability to drag and drop line items between sections. And so you'll be able to select a particular line item and you can pull that around into a different section. You can also drag and drop the sections themselves. So you could also say maybe you want florals to be at the top instead of at the bottom. So I can, as you hover, you'll see these little like dots along the side. So what I can do is I can just grab my little hand and then it'll auto collapse all of these sections. So if you have like a lot of sections in big orders, this is going to just collapse them all so that you can easily see where you're going to place it. So you can move those around the entire section. You can also choose if you want, maybe you want to select multiple line items. So maybe you made a mistake or maybe just something doesn't seem right and you want to move a few of these items around. So like for example, we have, this bud base, the candlesticks and the mobile bar. Maybe those really feel more natural to go under rentals. So I can select each one. You can select them individually, or I guess I should have shown off. You can also do a select all of the whole section. So if it's all of the items in that section, you can just click that. And then I'm going to pool. It'll tell you how many you're selecting. So I have 3 items, and I'm just going to drop them right under rentals. And there you have it. So this is just some updates that we've made to really make this process a lot more seamless, a lot more faster. You'll notice again, from the original kind of order view that is currently in app. Um, if you have an item here, you can like maybe move it around within the section, but it doesn't, it kind of blocks you. You can't move it into another section. You can adjust it within its own section, but you can't switch sections. And with the sections themselves, if you choose that you want, maybe the cocktail hour to come, I guess it is in order, but if say we want the ceremony first instead of the personal flowers, we can, you would have to kind of click, and you'll also notice that it kind of almost like auto refreshes the page. As you are moving those around, you'll see it kind of reloads. So that's also an adjustment that we've made. Just to kind of speed that process up, you'll no longer have the reload. Again, as you make those adjustments, it just happens in real time. So you can move your line items between sections. You can move your sections around with the drag and drop. You can bulk move line items between the sections with the drag and drop. You also have that section select all. Again, and that applies for the bulk edit. So all of that is still there if you want to select all and kind of make those adjustments. All of that still is available to you. And then we also have a very exciting update around the new order view, and that is being able to put a section wherever you're at on the page. So as you notice in the original order view here, we have the add section button up at the top. And then if you add a section, it will add it to the bottom of your order. So it adds it down here. You kind of have to scroll. And then if you wanted to move that to the top or wherever you might want that, you would then use the arrows to kind of move it around. So with the new order view, you'll see between these different sections, like we have appetizers, custom design. If I hover closely, you'll see there's this little plus sign. So if you hover between the sections, you can then click and then it'll add that section directly to where you are within the order. So then I can just treat it as my normal section flow of, maybe I want to include um, floral designs, and then I can go in and change my visibility settings and whatnot, add photos. But that's just a way that you can kind of move a little bit quicker. Especially, it's very helpful for our folks that have very large orders, just to kind of reduce that process of moving things around, kind of just meeting you where you're at and your workflow process of building out. So yeah, we have lots of improvements to this order view, but just wanted to kind of give you a sneak peek at what's coming. It should be available, as Shannon mentioned, in the next coming weeks. And so we just wanted to show it off today to get you excited at all these different enhancements based off of feedback. It's been a project for our team to kind of get these updates in motion, but we really do feel that they are very helpful for making your process a lot more seamless and intuitive, and then a lot faster. Of course, we want to save you time as you have all the things to do with planning the event. So we hope that you enjoy it, and we're excited for everyone to have access to it. But yeah, that pretty much covers the different areas of the update. And then I just wanted to compare it to kind of how it works currently because they are very similar in a lot of ways, but with the look, but also lots more of enhancements here to help you out. So that kind of wraps up the updates with the new order section.
Yeah, I love how much more you can actually see on the screen, you know. I like being able to see more and kind of manage more. We have a lot of people in chat right now saying
Yay!
how excited they are about this update. So that's really fun. Yeah, so we'll see this kind of come to pass in the next few weeks or month or so. We're still adding some pieces to it, still working out some things with that before it's like released completely, but super excited. I can't tell you the number of people that I said, "How can I quickly move a line item between sections?" Or they want the ability to quickly rearrange their sections and not have to press the up or down arrow a million times, you know. And we understand. We understand. It's so exciting to kind of see that come to pass in there. I love it. I love it. Okay, well, last thing to take us kind of through our wrap up. Um, I'm gonna share my screen one more time and we'll take a quick look at this Curate rewards just so that you can kind of see the flow here for anybody that may want to join. So we're investing some money into our customer campaign, getting feedback or whatever in the system. So again, you can go to bonus.curate.co. We already have people that are signed up for it, but if you have not already, it's super easy to get signed up. I will say, like, if you have feedback, things like that in the system, this is a great way to, pass that along to the team, show things, especially this workflow video, is really good. It's a really good way. Yeah, so in here, we've got several different ways that you can contribute in here. And we also have some bonus drawings. You know, if you complete it all, you get some bonus drawing entries, which is awesome. It is awesome. We do have people already that are on this journey in here working in it. So if you want to, you can go ahead and just get started right here. That's how you can log in there and then just start finding some things that's there. So I like our little thing here. It says you're going to share your feedback with people anyway. This takes less time than a coffee break and you get paid for it, which is nice. So we appreciate our customers so much. Like I said, that's how our software gets to the place that it is right now. So we'll send that out today whenever we send out the follow-up email. Included in that email is also going to be our link for where you can directly submit any sort of like uh, feedback requests or anything like that for what you would like to see in the system. Although I think that we are really ticking some things off the list here, especially with this new release that's upcoming. So exciting for that to come to pass. So be sure you utilize that. Also included in that email will be the recording of our call for sure, as well as our Curate community and our affiliate program. If you're not using our affiliate program, that's another way. If you're gonna be talking to people about the software that you're using, you might as well send over your link and you get rewarded for that anyways. So utilize our affiliate program. It is very easy to find that in Curate. It's going to be right over here. I have my thing expanded, but your referral link is right here within your account. Just makes it really easy for you to grab, share that, put it on social media, let other people just click into that because you do get a thank you whenever people utilize that link. But we appreciate you so much. Hopefully, for all of you that it applies to, that you have a relaxing Valentine's Day. It's not too crazy for you. And be sure to join us next month for our recently released features. Keep an eye out for Intercom on our chat bubble here for any of the releases that are coming through on a week by week basis. All right. Have a great February. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, everyone. See you next month.